This is the Insta360 X4. I've been a 360 fan for a while. I've had the X3 for over a year and I've sprinkled it into my videos here and there. I bought the 360 X3 with my own money, but this was sent to me by Insta360, and this video is sponsored by Insta360. They haven't told me what to put in the video. They haven't given me anything specifically to say. They've just told me to go and have fun with this camera, and I really have. So here are my thoughts, and let's see if this camera is something that would be good for you or not. So this video is going to be a mixture of Japan, one of the most glamorous places in the world, and my hometown, one of the least glamorous places in the world. I think it's important to show these sorts of cameras not only in fancy pants places, and to see what you could do with them in everyday life as well. So I have brought along my glamorous assistant, my 13-year-old border collie, Seven, and I wanted to see if I could get some fun shots on a local park with this camera. So what's new with the Insta360 X4? This is my beloved battered X3. First of all, you'll notice that we have a little bit of a size jump, and that's because the battery is significantly bigger in the new one, and therefore the battery life is a lot better as well. Also, the biggest upgrade for me is the X4 now shoots 8K. Now that might seem like complete overkill because we're even watching this on 4K on YouTube presumably, but it's because you need to crop in so much to this footage. The more pixels the merrier. It will keep your final product much clearer than the X3. And the third upgrade, which I am super happy about, is we now have replaceable lens guards that just clip on and off. I dropped my X3 in Kenya and I've got a little bit of a dint in one of the lenses, and sometimes you can see it ripple when the footage sticks together. Given that this is a device that is like 90% lens, we now have proper protection that's cheap and easily replaceable as well. If you've watched a couple of my videos recently, you'll know that I've been using the Insta-Go 3 for a lot of my POV footage. It's a cracking camera and I love how incognito and versatile it is. The Insta360 X4 sort of takes that to a new level. Well, you're coming home with me, aren't you? I shot a full video in Japan of me going to all these different cool camera stores, and I just left it on the strap of my camera bag using this accessory. They've created a quick release for it, which I just think is genius. So you can just twist and it comes off. But when it's in there, you can have it on your shoulder as a really incognito POV camera. I mean, it's massive. It's not as incognito as this, let's be honest. But all the lights turn off. There's no red lights to show that it's recording. You can turn all those off in the menu. So you can just leave it on your shoulder, go about your business, and know that you're getting absolutely every angle that you could want, even up your own nose, which is not fun. But aside from that, it works brilliantly. One overlooked feature of the Insta360 X4 is it takes absolutely massive 360 photographs. And this is great if you're in a place where you want to get a full, sort of more realistic view of what's going on. I tried to take a portrait with my dogs, didn't work, but you can see what you can do just to use this as an example. You can punch in, you can go all the way around the photo, you can change the angle. There's so much that you can do, and there's so much resolution as well. Let me just tell you the resolution. This is why we make notes, so we don't do this and we look professional. 72 megapixels. So a 360, 72 megapixels in the photos. And then for your time-lapse features, it will do 11K resolution as well. And just like with the Go 3, only more so because you have 360 instead of 180 to work with, you can add your motion into the time-lapse in editing. You can change it to vertical, you can change it to horizontal. It's really, really cool. So I think you're limited only with your imagination when it comes to the X4 and 360 cameras in general. You sort of have to rewire your brain to think in a 360 sort of composition. It's not about finding a specific angle, it's just everything that this camera sees it records. So you can do some very, very creative things with it. I firmly think, and I'm guilty of this as well, is if you've owned a 360 camera in the past or you want to get one, and it ends up gathering dust on your shelf, The only reason that that happens is you've not found a creative way to use it yet, because it really is quite limitless in what you can do. You can incorporate it into any sort of video, family, friends, travel. There's so many things that you can do with it, and it's one of the rare cameras where the bottleneck will be your imagination and not the technology. I think another thing with the X4 that's very important is it falls into the same category as the Insta360 X4, which I love and use all the time in my videos. And that is, it's very much a set it and forget it camera, because you don't even need to worry about where it's pointing, really. You can just leave it recording, be present in the moment and enjoy what you're doing with your family and your friends if you're on holiday, whatever the situation may be. This is the sort of camera that doesn't intrude. And I think that's more and more important in a world where everyone's online and everyone's distracted. Having a way to capture your memories without it being your main focus is really important. With this handy dandy accessory, you can even turn the X4 into a vlogging camera with very nice audio. And just like when it removes the invisible stick in footage, it will also remove the Rode Wireless Go, which I think is really cool. Let me just stick this in the sky with the microphone on to see how good it gets rid of everything. Let's vlog on the X4 for a little bit, a real world use case. While I've been using the 8K 24p the most, I do think it has some very good slow motion features as well. The 60p holds up very well. The 100p holds up okay, but it isn't quite as sharp and crisp as the 8K because it drops to 4K when you do add the faster frame rates. So in terms of vlogging, the stabilization should be absolutely superb because you've got so much data to work with. It should straighten it all out nicely. The benefit of this is as well, it will remove the selfie stick and you can do it at different angles. So let me just check I'm recording. So this is me holding it like this, but I guess I could also hold it further out. I don't know if that works. We can certainly find out. I mean, if this works, that's just weird. What if I hold it here? So I can just talk and walk normally and it's a little bit further away from me. Or I can bring it in like this and sort of use it like more of a traditional vlogging camera. So that's the quality to expect when you're vlogging. You can do this in a number of modes as well. There is a me mode, which will follow you no matter where you go, which is very cool. It's great for if you're using it to follow yourself on a bike or something, or if you're weaving between people. Then you can do it in 360, which is what I'm doing now because I'm just being bougie. Or you can just turn on the front or back camera and use it like a more traditional action cam. You just get 180 field of view rather than 360. So the one here is the new and updated selfie stick. It's so tiny, it's so light, and I just think it's so good compared to the older one that I got with the X3. I also still have the heckin' chunky one from my X3, which enables you to get stupidly long and high drone shots. I've stuck this out of Jeeps on safari, I've stuck this out of cars. I just think the way that this works and the way that the camera erases either type of selfie stick can make your shots really versatile. If you're in a place where you don't want to fly a drone, or maybe you don't have a drone, the longer selfie sticks are a great way to replicate those sorts of shots. So let's talk about the workflow. I think the way that you edit this footage is both the biggest pro and the biggest con of the X4 and 360 footage in general. First of all, the app on mobile is amazing and the app on desktop is amazing. It's super user-friendly. That isn't the problem at all. The problem is there's just one more step to go through with this footage. You could never take footage off the camera and just immediately put it out into the world because it's crazy. And this is where I run into problems with it, because if I'm on the ball with it and every day I'm putting things on my phone, oh my god, that's amazing, straight onto socials, it's all done and I'm editing as I go, it's really fun to see it all come together and experiment with on the go. If I come back from a 2-week trip, however, like when I did this in Kenya, I didn't have chance to edit as I was going along because I was editing the wildlife photos. It is quite a lot of editing to do to get the footage how you want it. So this is a pro and a con. Everything opens up for you in the editing. You can take one clip and turn it into 10 different things, but it is something that you have to sit down and actively do. So if you don't mind that extra step between copying it onto your device and then sending it out into the world, it's the best Pro ever, because there's even like little prompts and little ideas inside the Insta360 app to keep you inspired. You can follow along to tutorials and get some really cool effects. But if you're one that doesn't want to spend a little bit more time editing, then maybe 360 isn't for you. So, who is the Insta360 X4 for? First of all, it's for people like me who are coming from a place of privilege where I have a main camera, and having an additional camera that can give me more creative angles and enable me to do more interesting things and put that together with other footage that I'm filming, this is a great addition to my camera bag. If you don't have a main camera, then the good thing about the X4 is now that we can use it to vlog and add audio, you could use this as your only camera. It's not my first choice. I do think that with the extra editing involved, it works better and serves you better as an additional camera into your lineup rather than this being your sole device. And you may have realized throughout this video that I haven't actually touched on the fact that this is an action camera. It is waterproof if you put the doors back on, and it is very rugged. Now that you have the removable covers, you know, you've got Gorilla Glass on the front. It's very, very robust. You can take this in the water, you can throw it about, you stick it on a mountain bike, you can skydive with it. That is obviously a great target audience for this product, but I wanted to show it as someone who doesn't do very much of that. Can you be creative and use this as a fun tool if you aren't into the action stuff? I consider the action stuff just an absolute bonus when it comes to the X4. And of course, just like the Insta360 3, both of these products are just perfect for documenting little cute moments in your life. I've so enjoyed running around with my beautiful 13 and 12-year-old dogs today. And without getting too sad, I think one day I'm going to look back at that footage and cherish it. So if you want something to, you know, capture everyday life and not get in the way. I mean, I was still playing with my dogs and enjoying it. You know, it was just there and I was present and in the moment. I think both of these cameras are great for that. And particularly the 360 one because it covers all angles rather than just 180 degrees. Not me crying in a YouTube video about my dogs. If you'd like to check it out, I've got links in the description to the 360 store. And if you'd like to learn more about the Go 3, which is absolutely a staple in my camera bag at all times at the moment, check out my full review here. I was in Costa Rica, I went kayaking with alligators. It was good fun, and this camera did me proud.